As we're laying here, our body is comfortable. We're feeling our surface area continue to relax into the ground. The biggest focus that we'll be working on today is especially around the hip area. And so take a moment to allow yourself to kind of let the muscles around the hips especially relax. Sometimes there's some tension there that we don't necessarily even realize, but as we continue through motion, we kind of become aware of. So IT band, for instance, that area might be extremely tight for a lot of people. The front of the hips, the psoas, is notorious for getting a lot of kind of holding some of our emotional trauma. The glutes and the hamstrings are super strong. And so sometimes what we feel is the low back getting pulled to a little bit of pain. So there tends to be a lot of activity going on right in that hip area. And so today that'll be our biggest focus. Like normal, we'll include other beautiful little things, stretches, movements, all sorts of goodies. But today that biggest focus is on strengthening and stretching for hips. So think of the hips and that chakra center as very much the creative center. It's almost like we're giving birth to something new in our life. And so what type of future, what types of hopes and dreams would you like to kind of birth for your situation? And that'll be what rests on the back of our mind as we travel through our class, just getting deeper and deeper into that creativity that we have with our experience, with who we can be, with how things can be. So with this idea, all of this to get us started, we're going to begin today just with the right knee coming into the chest. So you don't necessarily need to rush it, but gradually we're pulling this right knee a little bit closer. Just kind of testing the waters. How deeply inward is it wanting to go? And notice perhaps we're pulling it so much that this left knee might lift just a hair. So if that's happening, maybe you send a little bit of extra energy down the left leg. Just feel what's going on around the hip areas. Good. We'll transition this toward a straight leg stretch up to the sky. Hands can be behind the back of the thighs or the calves. And notice this first little stretch of the right leg of the day can be pretty tight on that right side. So just enjoy that stretch, enjoy that sensation. Good. Releasing hands. This right leg slowly lowers down toward the ground. And once it rests all the way down, left knee starts to get hugged in. Gradually pulling it closer and closer and closer. Sending some energy down the right side. Right leg stretches up to the sky. Give it a good stretch. I said right, this is left. Sorry. Good, and then this leg begins to drop all the way down toward the ground. Soon as it rests down, second leg, so right comes back in. We're gonna go a bit faster. So just a brief moment with a hug. And then a brief moment, leg up to the sky, give it a tug. Then right leg lowers down toward the ground. When that one's resting, left knee, hug. Leg up, tug. And then a nice lowering down. And just continue your own pace. This can be faster or slower than others. But just easing through those different things. Hugs, tugs, and lowering. Good, and then the next time the right knee is inward, just pause at the hug. Don't rush. Good, so from here, let this right knee go out to the right side, getting into that inner thigh just a bit deeper. Feel how this pulls on the hip in a slightly new way. Good. Right knee comes up. Send it to a partial twist or a full twist over to the left, especially feeling the hip, trying to ease into that area. Good. Resting the hip down, leg goes up to the sky. From here, right leg goes wide to the right. When it comes up, it goes partway to the left. I love this one for the IT band opener. Good, leg comes back up, give it a tug. And leg drops all the way down. Left knee in, a brief hug. Knee opens out wide. Starts to cross over toward twisting. Good, hip down, leg up to sky. Leg goes wide. Comes up, cross halfway over. Good. Coming back up, give it a brief tug. And lower it all the way down. Both knees come into the chest. Let it rock for just a moment. Low back and hips feeling pretty good. Good. And then setting up the knees in a nice 90-degree angle. Open the arms out to each side. We're going to start a little cycle here. The cycle starts like this. The knees go wide to each side. So it's like the thighs are chasing a little figure V. And then squeeze the thighs back to touch. Once they're touching, both legs stay together. Tilt both legs to left. You choose how far. And coming up. Both knees over to right. Good. Back up. Legs up to the sky, straight legs. Both legs go wide. When they come back together, both legs together, go to left. and to right. Back through center, bent knees. Wide V legs. So basically repeating the cycle. Legs together, tilt to left, to right. Through the center, straight legs, wide. Together, to left, and to right. So that was 2 complete rounds. We'll do 3 more through the bent knee, all spots wide, eventually left and right. Eventually up to straight legs, wide, left and right. We get back to bent knees, 2 more cycles. Straight legs. Last cycle, bent knees. Get to straight legs, that's the last part. Beautiful. And then from here, right ankle crosses onto left thigh. Give a hug around that left side. You can hug around thigh, you can hug around shin, whichever is working best. And we're feeling some of those deeper hip connections. So breathe into that area as it's opening for us. Good, arms open out. The legs in this unit fall over to left. We're trying to keep this right knee more or less upward. So sometimes I'll take that left hand to help prop up the knee, or some days I want it to go deeper and I slide this unit, the whole thing, closer to that left shoulder. Good. We'll transition this to a normal, simple twist. So the both knees start to just stack to this side. Maybe the top leg straightens out to that direction, a slightly deeper stretch for the hamstring. Good, and as we start to release out of the twist, we're continuing to roll onto our left side body. The left hand can support the weight of the head, that's fine. And then this top leg, the right one, will do 3 large circles. So the top leg traces forward as far as you can in front of your chest, lifts up, travels back, try not to move the shoulders too much, and then begin circle number 2, forward, up, around, and 1. These can be straight leg or bent knee, your choice. Good, reverse it out, tracing backwards, up, forward, 2, and 1. Beautiful, finishing that. Lock back onto your spine. This one, we've got the left ankle to right thigh, and then give that a nice hug. Enjoying that connection deep into left hip. Another breath, imagining you can breathe into the diaphragm so much that the lowest part of the belly starts to feel that breath flow in. Good, a nice relaxed exhale. This unit will begin to fall over to the right this time. So again, if you wanted to use right hand to prop up the knee, that's great, or scoot the legs closer to the shoulder, that could be nice. We'll turn it into the simple twist to release the cross of the ankle. Maybe the top thigh straightens out. And coming all the way out to the right long side body. Maybe the head comes up in that right hand. Good, straight leg or bent knee. That left one comes forward in front of the chest. Up, back. 2 more that direction. 1. And then reverse. 2. 1. Good. Returning onto our spine. Both legs will go up to the sky. And then it's like we're doing little squats to continue to help strengthen these muscles. So you'll bend the knees. It's okay that the knees have to go a little bit wider from how the hips are set up. And then kick the legs back upward to the sky. So a couple of those pulses, you choose the pace. It's funny how the first one didn't really feel like much, but by now it's starting to get quite a bit more strong for those muscles. So let's take another 5, 4, 3, 2. Good, last one. And then we'll work our way up to sitting. If you like to roll like a ball, you can take that 3 or 4 times. Otherwise, just come up to cobbler's pose. Giving those hips a chance to relax open. This can continue to be with stillness. If you'd like to take little sways, just a little bit to the right and a little bit to the left, that's also acceptable. Whatever's working for our bodies. Especially easing into the hips. Good, and starting to rise up. The legs will take a chance to open out wide. Before we go forward, let's see if we can clasp hands behind the back. And then kind of using maybe the pointer finger on the ground behind us or the whole fist. See if you can arch the heart forward. Maybe a little back bend here, a little shoulder stretch. And then keep the clasp or not as we start to travel forward, knowing that you can release the hands at any point. All of us will sooner or later, but it's only when you're ready. find the resting place, dropping hands if you haven't already. Again, this can be with stillness or perhaps just a little bit of swaying left and right if that seems like it's getting really nicely into the hip areas. And one more deep breath all the way down to the hips. Relax, exhale to rise. We'll swing our legs underneath us. This could be just a normal cat-cow movement up and down. If there's other movements in the spine, kind of barrel roll, circles of the rib cage, anything that helps to loosen up the tight spots, you're welcome to take any. Good. And so spine back to neutral. We're going to lift the right knee up. The right knee is going to trace 3 circles, just however big you can take it. 3 to each direction. So choose the first direction. 3, 2, 1, and then reverse. 3, 2, 1. Drop that side down. Second. 3, 2, 1, and then reverse. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Back to hands and knees. Let the right leg go out behind. We're going to do 5 rounds. This is how the round goes. We take that right knee to the nose. When it kicks back, we bend the knee so foot is over the knee area and up and down 5 times. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take that knee to the nose. Swing up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3 more rounds if you can handle. Nose up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Feeling those glutes speaking to us. 2, 1. Now step right foot to outside of right hand. Continue to sink hips forward. We're relaxing those muscles that we're just working. If you want to lower down to elbows, that's absolutely fine. Beautiful. Back up onto hands. When this leg comes back, let's do the second side. So left leg starts out. Take the knee to the nose. Swing it up. Pumping. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Repeat. 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last cycle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Left foot to outside of left hand. Sinking hips forward. Maybe lowering to elbows. Good. Rising back up. As we take this leg back, here we'll start to play with down dog. We're letting both legs of that chest to stretch up together. If anybody wants to just add in a little flow for themselves, that's always an option. That boring chaturanga back bend and then returning here, but you don't have to. Good. And this down dog will just be however long it feels helpful for the muscles. Helpful for calves, hamstrings, hips, shoulders. At some point sooner or later, you'll be ready to come up toward the top of the mat, but don't necessarily feel rushed to get there. Take a moment for right fingertips to float up to the sky. This left hand can be on shin or floor. It's an easy twist for the spine and the shoulder. And lower it down. Second like that. Down. Good. From here, take the feet about as wide as the mat, toes turning forward. And this, to me, kind of feels like a football player. What we're going to do is squat the hips back. Spine is still straight. And then just straighten the legs as we bow back forward. So it's going back and forth between a little bit of work here for the legs. And then that straightening, that flexibility. Again, this is one that maybe you don't feel the muscles working the first time. But after just a couple more reps, it's like, oh yes, there's things going on. Good, so let's take 3 more. Two. And 1. Pause just a little bit longer with the straight legs. And then we'll work our way up to stand. If you need to just roll up for the head, that's okay. Otherwise, just swing directly up. Beautiful. Leave the legs wide for just another moment. The hips will go over to the right, left hand to left leg. Then the right arm, the goal is to pull that arm so far that you're feeling the hip connection stretching out. You can just pause in stillness, whatever angle you choose, or you can kind of swivel that left and right, forward, backward, whatever's working, to ease into that hip area. Good. Coming up, we'll start to switch sides. And all the way down. This is nice on the shoulder and the spine, but also just so good getting all the way toward that hip. Beautiful. Starting to rise. We'll take a tree pose. We're standing on left foot. Right leg is open. It can climb up. Just make sure it doesn't go directly on me. It can go higher or lower. Now the stability in the hip joint. It does require a little bit of external effort to get that knee rotating. But there's also just that stability by the press toward the midline. Beautiful. From here, we'll start to float this right leg in front of us, so the thigh is just floating. The fists, the hands are with fists, elbows at our sides. So then as we start to step this right leg back, the arms reach out, helping us to balance. So a nice slow step, and then let's return right back where we were, going for 5. And touch. 4. 3, 2. This last one coming up. When you go back, our goal is to be stretching the front of the right hip. So for me, I'm gonna stay with my heel lifted for a little bit longer, and then the other knee is gonna bend just a hair more. And it's like you can feel just that front of that right hip, just going nice and deep. Yeah, arms can be up, arms can be at the hips, whatever's working. Maybe even a slight back bend here, because that back bend does increase that stretch through that muscle just a bit more. Good. Rotate the back heel down. The arms can float up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to hips. The front leg goes straight. Just an easy half lunge work. Just 2 more of those, bending that front knee. Sweep the arms up. Hands to hips. Half stretch. 1 more. This one stay. You can maybe drop hands down toward the shin or toward the floor. Good. Try to keep that front leg elongating, getting straighter and straighter. Good. Now front knee takes bend again. Hands come to the inside of the foot. And then we'll continue to shift the hips back to counterbalance the fingers, walking toward that front right corner. Really long stretch. Start to walk the hands in closer. This is kind of a funky transition. What we're going to do is take this back right knee to the outside of this front left foot as we're sitting down. So it's setting up in a little crossed position. You got it. Yep, we all made it. Okay, so then this will take just an easy twist. So the right hand or the right elbow hugs around that knee that got lifted. Go ahead and just continue to spiral the spine. Turning forward, this can be ending up in a knee stack. If you need to go a bit wider to shin stack or even cross leg, any of these are great. At first, we'll ease back into the hip areas. So let's drop the right hand down. The left hand starts to pull so far that you're easing into that hip stretch, just like we did earlier. So a deep pull all the way to the hip. We include shoulders, we include spine. We can have motion or stillness. It's whatever's working to ease into hip. Good. Coming up, second side. Continue to ease into the hip, whatever movements or stillness need to happen. Good, coming back up, fingertips behind us, a moment with a little heart opener. Good, straightening back up. Right hand to base of neck, left hand underneath. If you can find the clasp, great. If not, just find 2 clasps of the shirt and just hold on the best that you can, trying to get the top elbow to point up, bottom elbow to point down to get the tricep and the shoulder in the stretch. With a nice easy inhale. Exhale, we can release and just slide the arms forward. Beautiful. Coming up, this top leg, the left one, swings all the way to the back of the mat. We leave this right knee in front of us for a right leg pigeon pose. Pick the hips up so that we've got the sacrum back to level. And then you're welcome to go down to sleeping pigeon or back in, whatever you like. Three more breaths, as deep of a breath as we can. Imagining we breathe all the way down, lungs clear to the hips. Good. Hands work ourselves up to plank after that third breath. We're going to ease our way out in toward a recovery pose. I usually like to just go to down dog with lots of wiggles for my hips. But if there's other little recovery things you need, that's beautiful. If anybody wants to add in an extra little flow here, you're welcome to just add that bonus in. And this will be similar to before, when your body feels happy. We'll make our way up toward the top of the mat. Let's take our feet about as wide as the mat, toes turned forward. Do 5 of those football squats, going down and straighten into the stretch. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then toes turning outward, Malasana, yogic squat. Remember, you can always go to a higher squat, pushing the knees open instead if this is too much. One more inhale. Exhale, fingers down, legs straighten, toes forward. Inhale to rise. In that wide stance, just a little bit longer, we'll ease into the hips again, laterally to each side. Choose one arm up and over, get that pull, maybe wiggles, maybe not. And eventually up and switching sides. Beautiful. Bringing the feet under hips, tree pose. This time it's the left leg that climbs. Everything else in the body climb, it's rising. And starting to float that left knee. Fists with the hands, elbows in, and then step that foot back, arms help to counterbalance. We move slowly here. This takes a little bit more muscular effort. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Stepping back. Maybe keep the heel lifted if the balance is there. We're trying to ease into the front of the left hip. So maybe lower yourself down. I like to try to keep this back leg as straight as possible. But the front knee's trying to help you lower. Maybe slight back bend. Increasing that even more. Take one more breath in. And exhale, back heel can rest down, arms float up. We've got a bend knee at first. And then hands to hips, half lean forward. And 2. And 1. Drop hands down to shin or floor if that's working here. Continue elongation through front leg. Knee bends, hands to the inside of that foot. Shift your hips back as you walk your fingers to that front left corner. And then walking back in. The funny transition, that left knee to the outside of right foot, sitting down. Taking the twist when you get there, left hand or left elbow hooks. Turning forward, we've got the knee stack, shin stack, or cross leg, depending on what lets hips be down. And we've got that. First we ease in toward the hips. So left hand down. Continue to lean the right hand over. Trying to do anything, any wiggles, shifting that we need to get into that hip. And that bonus of the shoulder as well. Good. Rising up, switch it out. And then rising up. Little back bend, fingers behind. Let's arch the heart forward and through. When we're ready, sitting up, left hand is at base of neck. Right hand tries to come from under. Remember, it's always okay to grab onto the shirt. Maybe this is a side that you can continue to ease closer to the connection. Inhale. Exhale, start to release. Find the floor, slide forward. As we start to return, this top leg unwinds all the way to the back of the mat. It's left leg pigeon pose. Remember, you can always pause for a moment, taking a little back bend first, nothing wrong with that. If you'd like to settle towards sleeping pigeon, just continue to relax, keeping that sacrum level. More breaths. The third, we can take our recovery pose. Maybe up through that down dog if you really like it. You can always take a flow, kind of the last one of the day, whatever you like. Good. And from here, this is our journey back toward our Shavasana. There's no rush to get there. You are welcome to do anything that your body likes. I personally will guide through just a couple of more things, but you can choose to follow me or not. You can do anything if your body just intuitively knows it wants something else. There's nothing wrong with that. So if you're going with me through the end, we'll head onto our backs. Those people that know bridge pose, you're welcome to press up toward all the way through bridge and then up toward the bow pose, the full thing. I'll just take a nice easy fish pose instead. So that would be sitting on the hands, curling up, elbows squeezing together behind, arching the heart and the head. Just a nice easy back bend. And then easing out of any of those variations, bring out the hands. Taking the right leg, cradle it out, just giving it a tight hug. And grabbing onto that right foot, place it by the left hip, that right knee continuing to rotate down. The left foot slides in closer. Right arm by the right ear. And then we press our way to that right side, pushing the hips even further into their opening. Good, and easing out of this side, right leg down. Cradle left, giving it a good hug. Setting left foot by the right hip, rotate the knee down. Right foot can slide in. Left arm by left ear. Then press your way to tilt partway to that left side, opening hips even more. Good. And then returning out. If there's other wiggles you need, take them. You're ready for Shavasana. Sooner or later, you'll find that beautiful release. Everything on the body comfortable. Good things opening up. Breath flowing for us. No rush to get to Shavasana, but when you are there, just let that breath flow as if you're breathing clear down into the womb space, that creative space. Imagining you're growing something, a hope, a dream. You're imagining a future you wish to come. All happens just by breathing in and out. Here we begin to deepen our inhales. Our exhales. Introducing little movements back to fingers and toes. Ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. And taking a nice fetal position off to one side when you're ready, sooner or later. Here, take maybe 2 or 3 more deep breaths until you feel ready to rise, sooner or later, comfortable seated place. As we join our hands together in front of the heart, we draw, clasp full circle, tuning into that hip area, imagining that we're growing this creativity by helping that chakra, the sacral chakra, doing so much work, strengthening and stretching for that area today. So we have that simple question to lead us on. What is it that I would like to do with this creative energy that I have? And with that question to lead us forward, we'll wrap up the time we shared together today with a sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.